Good morning, 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 good morning. Um, Shout out to MTR for this. This is a clip of an interview with Dr. Cheyyanne Bryant, and we're gonna go ahead and go through this. Again, shout out to MTR.
Good job. Hey, Meta, get this in slow-mo. Down for your eight, good job.
Defining a good sound is a subjective thing, much like dining at a restaurant.
But I gotta say this. I meet better men nowadays than I meet women.
So, if a man is being abused by his woman, what should he do? Should a man call the cops on a woman who physically assaults him?
Yes.
You have men who absolutely call the police. We've had, I'm not going to drop names, we have celebrities who have called police on the mother of their child. So we can't say that. And he's a man who's called it, right? It was all over social media, okay?
Any answer besides yes is absolutely ridiculous. Man, I thought I would never see the day, all right, that this young old lady would admit this, but we got the fake dating guru, Dr. Cheyenne. I don't even know why I say doctor at this point, I'll be honest with you. Cheyyanne Bryant, she was recently up to the Justin LeBoy podcast. By the way, we just recently did content on this young brother's podcast. He describes himself as toxic, but what we saw in the interaction between him and Coyle Ray definitely was toxic, but it wasn't by him. Did y'all see when she sucked the back of the nougat out that strawberry and then handed it over to him? He asked her to feed it to him, and she was just like, nah, this is my strawberry, and then ate it right in front of him.
Wait, you want strawberry?
No! Nevertheless, the fake dating guru, who has a majority bitter hyena, modern woman audience, actually admitted that what I've been saying for like the past 3,000 videos on this channel, that there's a lot more marriage-minded men out on these streets as opposed to marriage-minded women. Fascinating. Now, we've previously seen her showing her Thought Pocket cakes up at the Jeezy concert, which was a black tie event.
Now, basically, it's a sheer outfit where her panty and bra is exposed, and maybe she is, look like she's having her a good time.
Dr. Cheyenne Bennett was outside at the Jesus party, and honey, she's been exposed. This is who she is.
And we've also seen her on the Paul Pierce podcast exclaiming that she has a roster of men.
I'm not exclusively committed to anyone.
Whoa.
But I have one guy that I have dated off and on for 5 years.
Got her.
Yeah, I have spent the block for 5 years, and it's the truth.
So it seems to me that she's projecting with these comments, which I find fascinating.
Very much.
Nevertheless, it is prime.
Very much projecting.
Assessment over here. So let's get after it. Without further ado.
I might disagree with you, but as of right now, I fuck with everything you gotta say. Like, she was right.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
So before we get into all the deep stuff,
Okay.
who's more delusional right now, men or women?
Uh-oh.
Oh, that's a great question.
Yeah.
Women, y'all know I stand on a mountaintop for you,
Mountaintop of bullshit.
especially black women. But I gotta say this. I meet better men nowadays than I meet women.
Uh-oh.
And that's just the truth. There are so many men nowadays who are ready to be married, who are ready to be family men, who are standing on principles, who are, really into and relational with the women that they're dating. And I meet a lot of women who
Ain't
want to
ready.
be in the field,
Uh-oh.
who want to be, more of we have womanizers, but we do have women who are manizers.
Projection.
When you start to look at women who want a man to just perform, right, which goes into the same field as gold digging, that's a woman who
What?
is considered a manizer. And unfortunately,
There's
I meet
projection.
more,
Just like
women who are
MTR
ready to
said,
get married
there's
or, ready for the next
projection.
step, and women who
Tap the screen, tap the
either are
screen,
not
tap the
there
screen,
yet,
please.
or
Please tap the screen.
they're saying they're there yet, but the behavior that they're exhibiting and their inability to be able to nest in a man and allow him to lead her,
Yeah.
is not allowing the relationship to really take the course that the man is trying to lead them to. So
Isn't this exactly... See, when we say it over here, we're misogynist, chauvinistic pigs, all right? But when you have somebody who's a self-proclaimed dating guru, at least I think that she refers to her as that, then all of a sudden it's something that they can now listen to and or tolerate. By the way, when I say that they stand up on bullshit, I ain't talking to y'all MTRers. We already know that you understand all of the things that I talk about and what she just said right here. And you disambiguate who you are as a woman from the mainstream narrative, which has no empathy and chooses not to understand men. But you're hearing it from somebody that's in the relationship game, right? She's in the field herself, and I do think when she says it, she's projecting of how it is that she feels and how ill-equipped that she is when she's looking out there into the field for a man to properly consider her. But if she is describing that the majority of her clients are female clients are ill-prepared while the majority of her male clients are prepared, then that should give you a lovely conclusion or summary into the damaging information that these young women listen to and lead their lives with in order to have this uneven position. Quick emergency meeting. I was recently searching for my name online and found way too much
Okay, let's
personal
skip through
information,
this.
which won't be...
understand the foundation.
When impossible odor gets stuck in, Downy can rinse it out in one wash. That smells a lot better.
Now, folks, we know you love goldfish crackers and Campbell's tomato soup, two icons of the pantry.
And Mark, how many of us have put goldfish in our Campbell's soup? Fun and delicious.
Look, I understand I'm the covering. I understand I'm the foundation. I understand that I am the leader, which means I have to be vertical in who I am. And I want that role. And for the men who don't know how to be in that role, they are willing and wanting to learn. And you have women who are just not there.
Maybe that has never been the case with men. How about men have known this since the beginning of time? However, it is women that have been changing over the past several decades. And it's now men adapting to this version. Either they're choosing to rationalize against marrying this new version of woman, or they will go somewhere else internationally to settle down with someone that's a little bit more appreciative of who they are as a man. Feminism, sexual liberation, birth control, hormonal birth control, and a mainstream narrative that wants y'all to be consumers have messed up the game. Because think about the craziness of like her knowing all of this, but meanwhile actively showing up to a public concert in damn lingerie. This is analogous to the women that call her for consultations. They understand that what it is that they engage in is not valuable, or men do not find it respectful, but they still continue to do it. Hypergamy pushes these women to want top-tier men, but these top-tier men are looking down at the option pool and they're just like, nah, I think that I'm good. Population decline will happen when average men are coming out to the same conclusion as the top-tier men. Let's go.
So, now, I'm sure you have men as friends.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And you have women as friends.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Who do you think are better friends, men or women?
Oh, women all the way. Women all the way. Yeah, because, in most platonic relationships with men, it's only platonic until the opportunity for that man to have his way with that woman becomes available. With women, we got a girl code, we're friends, it's usually unconditional, we're not in it for the transactional performance. We're there through forever. It's almost like divorce is not an option. But with men, not all, but majority, if that woman was to give them the opportunity to either be with her intimately or relationally, I've yet to see a man not take a woman up on that offer.
Wow. Damn,
Yeah.
That was crazy. But I see a lot of girls not being girls either, though. So I see what
do you
you're
mean by
saying.
that? Say that.
Like,
unpack that.
Like girls are like the women who are for women. They won't mess with a married man or man in a relationship or man they know that's dating somebody. I feel like that side of things is way worse than men right now. Like, I feel like women are having sex with married men. They're sneaking around women with relationships. They're even creeping around with like their friend's guy. Way more than men are doing that to other men.
I'm gonna have to keep on reacting to this. I wasn't aware how beta or frail, right, like tail tucked between his legs, this young man. To be honest, before I did the content last week, I didn't know who he was. The Instagram profile, I was like, okay, I think I remember that from like 5 to 10 years ago, like some quote profile. but it's fascinating to me to watch the way that he speaks about who he is as a man, but then you also watch his behavior patterns with Coi Leray. I mean, it's truly fascinating. And that's why I love doing this content, because the content proves what it is that we're saying, all right? If you operate from a place of deficiency, like the mainstream wants you to, because you're easier to control, and you indoctrinate all these feminist talking points into who you are as a man, you think that that's aiding because you're like fighting for women, right? Like, men ain't shit, and I can't, have guy friends. Meanwhile, your guy friends is the only friends that you could take in a battle with. If there's an enemy at the gate or at the line. You understand me? That's the reality of violence and as well as warfare. And there's also the reality of, within a cohort of strong guy friends, is that those will be the ones not only to support you as a man if your back's up against the wall, but they'll also be the ones to carry your casket at your untimely demise. Now, I'm not saying that women cannot be leveraged intelligently or strategically throughout your life. And I agree with some of her comments in regards to platonic friends. But nevertheless, to watch the other young man just always categorize, right, men as more nature than women, and like all of the odd ways that he does that, and to watch him get punked time and time again from his girlfriend is just icing on the content cake.
I think that's been going on since the beginning of times. I think it's now being glamorized. I think that at some point women lost a lot of their hope in men being husbands, right? And the ability for them to show up and cover and be what their fairy tale ideology of a man is. Okay. And the Bible says hope deferred makes the heart sick. And so when the heart becomes sick, you have folks who start to behave and act in ways that exhibit sick behaviors. Those sick behaviors are what you just mentioned: sleeping with married men, not respecting the sanctity of marriage, not respecting commitment, not respecting that this is your girlfriend or another woman's man who's not yours. And if a man can be taken from a woman, that means that man was never that woman's or anybody's to begin with. And who wants somebody who is nobody's? Because that means he'll never plug into you. Someone who's plugged into something, just like an outlet, they don't have the ability to plug into something else. And so if a man can plug into me while he's with her, that means he's never been plugged in to begin with. And his ability to do so is not predicated on how beautiful I am. That's arrogance. And women have to stop being that arrogant and delusional, the word you just used, to think that their WAP or their looks or their cooking or whoever they are, how they show up is going to be so different that it convinced this man to be a man he's never been. That doesn't happen. Women don't change men. Men change when they are ready to change, if they ever decide to do so.
Wow. So what do you think that last statement was true? Women that allows them to be a side chick?
Yeah, that's a self-love deficit, a self-worth deficit. That's a daddy issue, a parental issue. Some women have mommy issues. We don't talk about that enough. Wow. They are so resentful toward their mothers that any woman that they can tear down is a representation of them tearing down their mother that they've been mad at. And so if I could sleep with your man knowing that that's going to...
This by far is probably the best machine that I've seen yet.
This is actually my favorite booth at CES.
I used to own a large-size commercial laser myself. It was very expensive, difficult to use. It's amazing how fast it is and accurate it is.
So we are buying the lasers to start doing business. The tools are really nice and the quality is really good.
It's actually going to probably be an industrial leader here soon.
It's crisp and clear, and it's just detailed just like the photograph.
I can do my own shirts. That's something that we've been looking to do.
That's awesome. That's super awesome.
I love the ecosystem between the hardware and the software. Software is free. It's very simple to use.
Most compelling part about going with X-Tool is having that US-based support. You guys are continuously updating your product.
Is a representation of them tearing down their mother that they've been mad at. And so if I could sleep with your man knowing that that's going to dismantle you, when I really want to be able to dismantle my mother, who either abandoned me, who wasn't there, who mistreated me, who abused me, or who I had this resentment toward, then guess what? Every woman from that point on is just going to get it. And it's unfortunate because we blame women's bad decision making, right? Or they're misbehaving on daddy issues. But we don't talk about how there's mommy issues that women have as well. We always put mommy issues on men. But when a woman has resentment towards her mother, because again, they felt like the mom didn't show up in a way that she should have, then that woman has it out for other women, and that's easier for her to get into positions of being second. Also, daddy issues, right? If she's never had a father dote on her, love on her, and choose her, that means that any choosing that she gets for her is what? Valid. Okay. You know, like
regardless of the reason, it's just excuses. And if you get exposed, all of a sudden it's all about trauma and the patriarchy and anything else but a choice that was made. But it makes sense because excuses hold you from taking accountability. And as well as they protect your self-esteem and as well as your image, shifting blame away from yourself and pointing it towards everything else but yourself in order to avoid potential consequences is simply an ineffective way to maintain self-control. But when you're a part of a hive mind that thrives off of unaccountability, then the scapegoat seems easier.
My father, and I talk about it on all the interviews about how my father was very present. He doted on me. He loved me. He used to tell me all the time, you're the Kobe Bryant of the women's. You're the Michael Jordan of women. Now, no man has to believe that. But my father told me that. So he injected, and planted that seed of confidence in me since a little girl. So I'm not sitting around waiting for any man to validate me. I'm vertical in who I am. And a woman is what her father makes her. A man is what his
mother makes him. Ego and that's cockiness.
To the opposite sex.
So if you had this from your father, then why do you have a roster of men?
And for fathers out there, you have to make sure that you are implementing these seeds in your daughters that you want to manifest. The Bible says, train up a child in a way, and they will continue to go that way as they become adult.
Please do not put the Bible in your mess. Dr. Cheyyanne, do not put the Bible in your mess. Don't do this.
That's right. And so you have fathers who have abandoned their daughters or who come and drop off money. And let me say this, just because your father's in the household don't mean you don't got daddy issues. A present father can present just as much or if not more trauma by being present. It's called learned behavior. So he can be present and you could have seen him be a womanizer. You could have seen him abuse or dog your mother. And that could have developed a very, very brutal perspective of men in your eyes. And for you, any man that validates you makes you feel like you have worth. And any woman who allows a man to put her second, any woman who allows a man to put her first and another woman second is a woman who has daddy issues, parental issues, self-care, self-love deficit, and self-worth deficit. And a lot of women don't want to hear it's a self-worth issue. You have to understand that whatever external should I say, sources that we allow to validate us, we're also incarcerated to. So I'm in prison to the things that I need to validate me. This is why validation needs to come from yourself, because it's too much power to allow me to be in prison to how you think of me. That'll never happen. I'll never be in prison to your thoughts of me. I have learned the balance of caring for you, but not giving a damn about how you feel about me. I can still love you and not allow your thoughts to move me. I could still care for you and not allow your thoughts to make me waver in who I am.
Okay. No one gonna disagree that men should be showing up as fathers, strong fathers to their children and good fathers, right? Because your representation of a bad father at home, and absolutely the children may pick up some of that and will react later in life accordingly. I just find it interesting that she's able to give illustrative example after illustrative example of a bad father, but when the onus is on a bad mother, it's just no one talks about bad mother without an illustrative example after illustrative example. We have a culture and a society that uplifts single motherhood and the consequences of it. You got women that treat divorce like an easy button, especially in no divorce states, and child support like a retirement plan. Sprinkle a little government assistance on top of that, right? The ability to pay $13.97 a month on rent, and you have a evil witch's brew of I don't need no man. If we want to address both sides, we got to address them both fairly. Nevertheless, there's another clip here towards the end of this conversation that I thought was also interesting. Let's go.
What you watching? Vicky?
Vicky? Oh, me? No, I just go by Victoria.
No, VIKI. It's the OG streaming platform for Asian dramas. Or romantic. Yes.
Vicky, that's K-dramas before K-dramas were cool.
Towards the end of this conversation that I thought was also interesting. Let's go.
That needs to be addressed with our men.
So if a man is being abused by his woman, what should he do? Obviously, he could leave, but like, women get to call the cops. Should a man call the cops on a woman who physically assaults him?
Yes.
First of all, calling the police, in our community is so taboo.
It is.
It's so taboo.
But women do it.
I think women do it more, but I do know that men do it too. You have men who absolutely call the police. We've had, I'm not going to drop names, we have celebrities who have called police on the mother of their child. So we can't say that, and he's a man who's called it, right? It was all over social media, okay?
Any answer besides yes is absolutely ridiculous. They tolerate abuse from woman to man. Then it's not a big damn deal. But if you were to flip this gender question around and say if a man was abusing a woman, call the police yes or no, the answer would be emphatically yes. Gentlemen, are you beginning to understand how the world owes you no favors and people will have no sympathy for you within your position irrespective of what it is that you're going through? Because they expect you to suffer. They dare not touch on the amount of false allegations that come via dialing 911, more specifically from female to male. They dare not talk about the reality of these situations, but it's just simply, let me pause here, let's talk about the way that we deal with the police within our community. No, if she's whooping your ass, you can't defend yourself because you are more than likely to go to jail. But if she's whooping your ass and she's refusing to leave, get your receipts and enable exactly what you pay taxes for. Let's go.
And there was no domestic violence involved. He just was trying to probably be an asshole and want her out of his home with the newborn baby. Look, anyways, I digress. But what a man should do is definitely leave. I think that police should be involved if, folks feel like they can't handle the domestic dispute on their own by leaving. And when I say leave, that means leave for good until that person gets the help they need. People should not return into a violent, unsafe environment. It's not going to last anyways, as we see those relationships always end in the worst ways possible. So even if you don't hit each other again, you're going to end up not together. So, get to work. That's why I advocate for therapy and coaching to be a lifestyle, not just a preventative measure, but a lifestyle for people to be like, yo, let me get some work in some help and some tools, even if I'm not fucking up at this moment. I'm going to go forever. It helps prevent things, not just intervene.
For sure, I love that. You said
I love that. It's so crazy. Bro, is Coyle Ray whooping your ass? Blink 3 times so we can know we can send help. But listen to me when I say this. If she's putting hands up on you, this is male or female. If he's putting hands up on you, if she's putting hands up on you, you are way past the point of therapy. For the life of me, I don't know why a situation like this is treated like a damn joke and how men are painted weak for seeking additional help. And by doing this, they're getting the receipts so that if it needs to come in front of a court of law, one of which we have not typically seen positive results when men go into that courtroom. Meanwhile, if it's a man that is receiving the brunt end of the DV stick, it's well, you should just, walk through her with therapy to just talk about her rage and her emotions. This is why men don't ask for help. This is also why men tend not to call the cops in these situations, because they'll more than often be not listened to, or in fact treated as more of the aggressor in this situation, irrespective of the truth. And not to mention that the therapy industry is dominated by women. And dare might I add, it is dominated by women with a mindset just like hers, who outwardly says that she understands and that, there is a fight there for equal rights or equal understanding. But if you actually listen and tease out and question and provide feedback or criticism to the things that they are saying, you begin to understand how the arguments break down. And behind it all is a destroyed young woman who acts like she understands, but truly does not. It's a damn shame that if you go up on your medical portal, whether it be your insurance or something like that, trying to find for a male therapist is like a needle in a damn haystack. And it's just, it's just very interesting, because I do think that, especially in our current climate, it's difficult. It's more difficult nowadays to, get good friend groups, good friend circles. And because of the enhanced difficulty, oftentimes, and especially because men operate generally better alone than women, then your outlet for your thoughts or your ideas or things that you're going through will effectively just be you. So there's a lot of things that you have to keep inside and are insular. And it's a damn shame, because the majority of therapy today is built on a woman's ability or paradigm for processing emotions. It's just weird. Men and women are different, and we process things very different. And so, like, I don't know, I feel like male therapists should get paid a lot more to incentivize more men being in these situations. And I'll tell you what, if you have a male therapist that at the point that they hear that she can't keep her hands to herself and is hitting and abusing you, and if he doesn't then suggest or direct that you should remove yourself from the situation, then that is a bullshit ass therapist, all right? Questions, comments, concerns, y'all already know what to do. Me, go to tourismreviews@gmail.com. Guys, thank you so much for rocking with me in this particular piece of content. Shout out to today's sponsor, Aura. Remove your private information off of these public websites. Aura is who I trust in order to do that for me.
Okay, it looks like we're done here.
Get 2 weeks free.
I thank y'all for being here. I'll see y'all later. Peace.